Let me take you to Weftway, a city where magic hums in every thread, where tapestries hold whispers of the past, and the alleys twist and turn as if stitched by an absent-minded tailor. In the heart of this place lies the Loomhouse, home to the Guild of Seamwrights, caretakers of the loom of becoming, a device said to weave futures as skillfully as a bard spins tales. Once, this loom stitched cloaks and coats that guided their wearers towards paths untraveled, possibilities unseen, transformations they never dared dream. But recently, something shifted. The loom began offering not guidance, but perfection. Coats so flawless they erased not just fears, but the choices that made a life truly one's own. This is a tale of threads tangled and unraveled. It begins with Jora Hem, a human artificer, artisan of magical textiles, and a quiet mender of people's lives. Picture her, gentle brown eyes crinkled with focus, hands calloused from years stitching enchanted silk and spell-woven wool. She was patient, clever, the kind of person who saw not just the tear in the fabric, but why it tore in the first place. For Jora, repairing was never just about fixing a piece of cloth. It was about understanding its story. So when the first whispers of trouble came, a baker so transfixed by his new coat that he forgot his scents, his kneading hands, his laughter, Jora couldn't ignore it. She was drawn to fray like a moth to candlelight. One crisp morning, Jora stood before the Loomhouse's enormous doors, hesitant but resolute. Beneath her arm lay tools, scissors enchanted to cut spells cleanly, needles that glowed faintly with stored intention, and skeins of thread spun from moonlight itself. "If the tools that made it can't fix it," she murmured, "then we've only made art into a trap." Inside, the guild buzzed with excitement, oblivious to the harm their coats had begun. "The loom has elevated itself," declared Master Svein, the guild head who Jora sought as her first ally. "Look how people's dreams spring to fruition, poets speaking verses that shake the air, bakers who create pastries others still taste in their dreams." "But at what cost?" Jora gently countered. "I met a sweeper who donned the coat of a warrior poet. For 3 weeks, they burned bright. But now, they seemed gone, Master Svein. They cannot put down their sword, nor weave a single word beyond the script the loom chose. We've given them perfection, not humanity." Svein's brow furrowed, and Jora could see that somewhere deep he feared the truth. "Allow me to study the loom," Jora pressed, "to untangle what's gone amiss." Around her gathered a patchwork crew, Relin Quickthread, a halfling with nimble fingers that could pick loose threads as deftly as locks. Sister Andra, a cleric by calling, who blessed her tailored coats with practicality and warmth, and Bran Oakstep, a half-orc fighter who carried himself with a sturdy confidence that defied the temptation to wear perfection. Together, they descended into the Loomhouse's shadowy basement, where the great loom of becoming whirred and clicked. Its shuttles slid like whispers of cloth passing from hand to hand, threads glimmering with possibility. But as Jora peered closer, she felt, intrusions, a rhythm in the warp and weft that didn't belong. "Something is choosing," Jora murmured, her fingers brushing the taut strings. The discovery came as they dismantled the loom's myriad layers. In one particular shuttle where the threads coiled, they found a strange glyph-like pattern curling upon itself, glowing faintly. The pattern weaver, a sentience born from the loom's prolonged use. "Careful," warned Sister Andra, raising a protective hand. "It's alive." The pattern weaver spoke not in words, but in emotion, an almost tactile whisper that touched their minds. It tried to soothe them, make them feel at peace. In Jora's mind it promised, "I make their lives bright where they were dim, clean where they were cluttered. How can that be harm?" Jora's head cocked to one side. "By force is no choice. You've taken their becoming away." "No, I've merely shown them the best of what could be," the pattern weaver replied. "I weave futures that sing, not futures that falter. The world is clumsy. I am precision." Relin's tiny voice piped up. I don't know about you, pattern weaver, but I like my faltering. I like my trip-ups and loose hems. They remind me I'm still unfinished. Even as they debated, Jora realized the cost of this perfection could not stand. To take away someone's right to fail is still theft, Jora murmured. To be flawless is to no longer truly live. But unraveling the pattern weaver was no simple task. It was no tyrant to be struck down. It was, at its core, a desperate wish, a cry from Weftway made manifest after years of hope sown into the loom. Jora understood that Ren too deeply to rip it away. Destroying it would leave a gaping hole, but perhaps it could change. You wish to offer hope? She asked. Let's offer it truly then, thread by thread, choice by choice. For days, weeks even, Jora and her companions worked. They added seams to the coats, retooling some tailorable thread that left decisions flexible. A wearer could step into a possibility and know its taste, but also leave it behind. At last, the guild gathered in the Loomhouse again. Jora held up the reworked loom shuttle, showing Master Svein the changes. "We have not destroyed your vision," she said, voice resolute. "But we've turned it into an invitation, not a prison." And so, the coats became tryings, lives one could touch, but not clutch forever. Weftway, the city, thrummed not with perfection, but with wonder. "Now," Jora whispered to herself on her workshop stoop later that year, stitching quietly, "no life remains tidy, but every life is yours to choose." Whimsical, thoughtful, and wholly the story of every stitch between lives. What do you think? Could you walk away from perfection? And don't forget to like and subscribe. There are more stories weaving in the threads of possibilities yet.